Michael Cheney. Cheney. Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tellman and Fellman Show. This is episode 80, although I'm tempted to say it's really just a remake of episode 70-something. But since I don't know the number, we're going to do episode 80. We'll talk about what happened in just a second. My name's Harris Fellman.
I'm Tellman Knudsen, and in between us, we have the infamous Michael Cheney, internet marketing superstar, happens to be an excellent cyclist, a dad, a really good guy, and we have a much more exciting introduction and bio ready for you, courtesy of Michael Cheney with a little twist.
Tellman and Fellman. Where am I? Welcome to episode 80 of the Tellman and Fellman Show. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats and fasten your seatbelts because Michael Cheney is in the building, or at least in his house. The digital dynamo quit his one and only job back in 2000, turning a senior community website into a $20,000 a month ad revenue juggernaut. Yes, you heard that right. My gosh, this is so funny because it's just such a calm intro otherwise. I don't know what I'm doing. From building profitable consultancies to teaching his golden secrets to thousands, he's not just a marketer, he's a kingmaker, launching big-name marketers who now dominate the industry. He's been on NBC, spoken globally, and now Michael's diving headfirst into the AI revolution, helping entrepreneurs master the machine for unstoppable business success. Okay. Oh, and that's not okay. It's and when he's not conjuring marketing miracles, this man crushed the amateur cycling world championships not once but twice, landing in the top 40 globally for his age, whenever that was. Prepare to be amazed, inspired, and AI empowered with the one, the only. I added that last part. Michael Cheney on episode 80. Welcome, Michael Cheney. Over here.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? I'm not going to live up to that, but thank you for the introduction.
I know. Yeah, when I get a good intro on a magic stage, I'm like, I'm sorry, my act is not that good. Thanks for the applause, though.
Cool. No, good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. So we'll just tell everybody that can hear us. Can they hear us, Tellman? That is the question number
I
one.
checked on Facebook, and our audio is in fact streaming as it should be. The plumbing is working, Harris. The plumbing
is working. My plumbing is overworking. I will likely go to the bathroom 3 times during this show. Twice you'll see me leave, and once I just do it in my seat. All right. So anyway, not true. Not yet. I'm thinking about it. Believe me. It's just so annoying. So anyway, So last time what happened was we did a whole show. Well, we did half a show, and then people were like, we can't hear you. I'm like, hit reset, get over it, because we've done 70-something shows, and it was fine. Right. But this was the one that it wasn't. And then we came back on again, and it was still wasn't. So for whatever reason, we could all hear each other. We're streaming to each other, but we weren't able to. The other people that we were streaming to weren't able to hear. So we're redoing it because this is a very important gentleman to have on our show. I'm super excited to have you, and thanks for coming. Thanks for doing a reset. Really appreciate it. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but so we like to talk about a little past, present, future. Let's talk again about how you got started. And we covered a little bit of it, but I think it's really interesting because it's a different path than I think a lot of people. I could just see what I remember. Anyway, so go ahead and tell us how you got started. This was, I think, in the other intro, you said your first job was your last job, right?
Yeah. Basically, I only lasted like 2 years in a corporate career, and it was like 2 years too long. I absolutely hated it. People were just hanging on for retirement. I was like, yeah, this is definitely not me. Definitely not what I want to do for the next sort of 40, 50 years. So I wanted to jump on the whole .com bandwagon. So this was like late 90s. Started the job in 98. And it was just about the sort of the .com bubble bursting. But I thought, well, there's a big demographic that's really growing quickly offline, growing quickly in online usage, which was seniors. So with a couple of buddies, we set up an online community for seniors, which we self-funded and grew to 20K a month ad revenue.
And as
from
a
from the start.
56-year-old man, I have to ask: senior starts at 75. Is that what that market?
Well, actually, I'm in my own demographic now, but back then we were targeting, because we didn't know what we were doing. Anybody over 45, we were like, yeah, you're a senior. So we used to advertise for like 45 plus, thinking, oh yeah, those are the old guys. But yeah, no, that's how I got started. I did that. I learned how to get traffic to that site. I learned how to do backlinks and SEO. Then I set up a consultancy, traveling around Scotland, helping people out, doing all the stuff that I'd learned how to do myself. And then I sort of migrated into internet marketing by packaging all of that knowledge up into digital products.
Okay. So,
Cool.
so you were doing marketing consulting, like to people across the internet? Was that a thing, or was it just local people? What do you mean?
No, it was local people. So I'd travel around in my little beat up car at the time across Scotland. I did a little bit of work for the Scottish government. So they had grants that they would give businesses, and businesses didn't know what they were doing with websites, nor did the Scottish government, to be frank. But they got me in. They paid me. The businesses got it for free, and I went around and showed them and told them what to do to get ranked on Google and how they should create their websites and stuff like that. Because I'd already done
like
it.
basic
Right?
website and basic SEO kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Keywords, research, backlinks, keyword density, but also usability. Like that was still the age, of like skip intro with flash intros. People just throwing stuff up that took
Hold
like
on,
5
though.
minutes to load,
How
and not
old
really
were you?
creating stuff that worked.
Late
How
20s?
old were you? Yeah.
Late 20s?
So yeah, I would have been 25, late 20s, late 20s at that point, yeah.
Did you guys wait? You said something that made me think about this. So I used to have in those days I had many shitty cars. I remember this one purple van that I bought in college, and I'm like, well, let's put a couch in the back of it. Let's smoke pot in the back of it. I don't know if I don't know. I didn't actually smoke that much pot. Let's get drunk in the back and not drive anywhere. Whatever we did. But anyway, I had that, and I remember I don't even remember where they were. I think I left 3 cars by the road. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to afford to fix this. It cost me $500 to begin with. Bye-bye. At various times. Did you guys what was your shitty car that you just mentioned? And Tellman, did you have a time that you went through a shitty car phase?
Yep. Well, let's start with Michael on his shitty car.
So I can't even remember the make of this thing, right? So it was literally my first car that I bought. I bought it off my girlfriend's parents, right? They sold it to me. Wait for this. It had flip-up lights at the front. It was gold.
Yes.
I think it was
I love it.
What could it have been?
So was it a 2-door or 4-door?
I think it was 2-door. It cost me like 1,000. I think it was like 1,000 quid.
Yeah.
But check this. I had it like a couple of years. It was falling to bits. I took it to auction after 2 years to get rid of it. Once I'd started making some money, they gave me $50 at auction. So
that's not much better than leaving it by the side of the road. See, I'm not so far.
A trade auction where you've got like industry people buying cars to refurb or even just for scrap, and I got like $50 or $100. It was like
exactly. I'm like, I'm just leaving
garbage.
it. Like it cost you more than that to get there. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
How about you, Tellman?
The first car that I bought was $500, and I bought it from a mechanic in Orange, New Hampshire, who a couple of years later, his entire shop exploded because it was so it was not well kept for.
It caught fire.
It literally exploded. It was like a giant bomb in the mountains. And I bought it for $500. It was a Pontiac 6000 LE 1981. It was gray, 4-door. Had a trunk, and all the speakers were blown out. And so I got these old box stereo speakers, the big rectangular ones. I put them on the ledge in the back of the car. I manually wired them just by bringing wires through the car to the stereo. Why was there a stereo? Because the local stereo shop in West Lebanon, New Hampshire was having like a Christmas special of the like their demo stuff, and I got a $500 cassette stereo for $120.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought, what? Your car costs 500.
and I
Okay,
had
okay.
this thing like wired in there with copper wire.
Cassette
And
tapes.
I would play, and I splatter painted it with a wide variety of rainbow colored enamel paints. I duct taped newspaper to the windows, and I went out and with I went to the hardware store. I got all the colors of the rainbow and spoons, and we hit this thing with all these splatter painted paint. And then I had Beavis and Butthead slammed in the hood of the thing, and they would flop up as I was driving, and people would see them, Beavis and Butthead, in the rear view mirror as I listened to White Zombie and drove at about 15 miles an hour from my school to work. So that was
wow. That is
crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was
Awesome. Well, let's continue with the important stuff. But I think people will get a kick out of all that. So, Mike, is Mike okay? By the way,
Yeah,
I think he's okay.
Okay. I'm just lazy. I guess where were we? I was going to ask another question about a car, but I don't think that's important. So, yeah. So you basically we had gotten to where you say that you were doing some marketing consulting, and then. How did you shift over to what we're all calling kind of internet marketing? I guess making an info product or making a software product that's like a digital downloadable thing.
Yeah. So my first thing was actually an ebook called the Website Marketing Bible, which I basically ripped off of Jeffrey Gitomer, who came out with the Sales Bible.
That's right.
So yeah, I just documented everything I knew about website marketing. I put it in a PDF, and I kind of released it. I didn't know anything about like launch or anything like that. I didn't have any affiliates at first. I did have a little bit of a mailing list that I built up by giving free information away. And yeah, I released that. I did a few, still like an artist. Yeah. I did a few sales of it. And then I was like, oh, why is it not selling? Oh, I need affiliates. So I learned how to get affiliates. And then that was technically my first digital product, which I probably did a few $100s with it.
Yeah.
But then I did a proper launch in 2006 of AdSense videos, which taught people how to make money with the Google AdSense program.
AdSense videos.
That was my first official kind of public launch, and that did $250,000 gross in a week. So that was
why? How did you go from just a couple hundred to doing a proper launch? Like where did you learn about? Was it Jeff Walker's stuff back then still?
So I started.
Still? Not yet. Like, was Jeff Walker's stuff around yet?
Yeah, it was. I mean, when I first got into it, there weren't really many or even any people really teaching internet marketing that I knew of. When I first started in like early 2000, I mean, I remember something called like Gorilla, the 500-pound gorilla or something like that.
Guerrilla marketing, not guerrilla marketing
not guerrilla marketing as in Levinson. No, this was something else.
No,
like a brand.
I remember something about the gorilla. Yeah, there is something there. I don't remember what it was either.
Yeah.
Our interview with Johnny Andrews had a gorilla yesterday. That's for sure.
In soggy diapers, 2 of them.
Yeah, with soggy
bags of cash.
Bags of cash and soggy diapers. Let's move on.
Okay. Yeah. Let's. Corey Rudel. He was probably the first guy that I remember. But yeah, I managed to learn quite a bit from Jeff Walker. Mike feels same as well with his Botterfly marketing. He kind of took me under his wing a little bit, under his butterfly wing. And thanks to those guys, I kind of modeled the framework of how to do a launch, build up, anticipation. I had amazing proof. And that was the main thing, right? Because I'd actually done this in my own business. I'd got a website from 0 to 20K a month with ad revenue using Google AdSense. So I knew what I was doing. So that was really the hard, that was the hard bit to overcome. And then obviously the network of getting the affiliates. But back then there weren't like 12 launches a day. It was quite a rare thing to launch in that way. So everybody wanted to jump on this because it had all this proof behind it.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's kind of why it worked.
I started a bunch of businesses before I ever went online. And I'm curious, you mentioned this in our last silent interview, where you said you were always interested in technology, and so I'm curious for you, like underneath it all, what's the why? Like, what do you love more than internet marketing or more than the making money part? Like, why are you? It seems like you've been involved with business and marketing online for a really long time, and that's that. I mean, I know you've taken a couple breaks to kind of reset or whatever, but that seems to be a constant with you with technology. I'm curious, like, what's underneath it for you? What means something to you? What's purposeful? What's driving you? What gets you out of bed in the morning?
Let's talk about cars, guys. I mean, cars, right? I mean, cars.
Do
right?
they make cars from the UK? Like, are there brands of cars here?
That was, that was such a deep question.
No, it is. You know,
I mean, it changes. I think it changes for all of us, right? I mean, it's not the same thing that, you don't have the same motivation or the same goals or the same destination in mind. You're not the same person you were when you started out. I think
right.
I think if anything, the common thing is always looking for what that motivation is and trying to find and get a new motivation along the way, I mean, when I started out, the reason I got into the whole internet thing was a twin forces of wanting to get out my job, but also just loving the internet just for the sake of it being the internet. I mean, people, younger people just don't know, like, this was a new thing. It was like incredible to us. Like, we're like, what the hell is this? Like, you can talk to somebody
what's
anywhere.
out there?
Yeah, it was amazing. I just wanted to do something that involved that.
Yeah.
I remember like when I first, like, I worked at a BBS company, and we, it's like a little mini internet. But I remember when the web came out, and when you could literally, I would be on the phone with one of my clients from New York, and I would be like, okay, I just made a change, hit refresh. Oh my gosh, somebody in New York was able to see it instantly. And that's like, that was so amazing, right?
Yeah. It was so much stuff like you take for granted. Not, I find my, again, this is like late 90s. I found my house through the internet. I met my girlfriend, now wife, through the internet. We used to email each other backwards and forth. It wasn't a dating site, but we emailed before. And all these different things that now it's like, well, yeah, of course you did. Like, what are you talking about? Of course you got your job through the internet. Of course you met your partner through the internet.
Right.
And of course you found your property on the internet. But back then it was like, people like, now this thing, it's just a fad. Like, this, who's this Jeff Bezos guy with Amazon? He's such a dick. There's no way people are going to buy books.
Right.
People just didn't know, did they? They just didn't see what was going to happen. I knew it wasn't going anywhere. Like, I didn't know what it was going to become.
Right.
But I knew it was big,
I mean, you remember the years where, like, it was like they would talk about what percentage of people were comfortable even making a payment online. Like, I remember, like, there was a point in time when it was like, only 5% of the people are really comfortable even doing that,
I remember we used to do teleseminars, and we would give out a URL for people to buy, but we would also give people a 1-800 number to call to order very often for high ticket stuff, because a lot of our customers were 50 plus and weren't comfortable entering their credit card online, like, no. Very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so after AdSense videos, which was a big success, what did you do with the senior membership site at that point, or was that already gone?
I think you say what I do with the money.
Okay.
What I do with the seniors website, it just kind of, I mean, I kept it for a while, more just as a, I don't know, because it was my springboard, if you know what I mean. It got to the stage where I realized the most valuable thing about that community is what I'd learned. It basically was like a crucible it was my education. It was my internet university, really.
Right.
I learned how to create content, how to create pages, HTML, backlinks, SEO,
yeah.
Traffic, how to engage with community members, how to incentivize people. I mean, I learned, building a mailing list, getting buyers, like selling people on the phone, like big name companies to buy advertising space. So, but when I looked at it and stepped back, I was like, actually, everything I know now, the skill set that I now have is actually worth more in another vehicle, right?
Right.
Because at that time the kind of ass had fallen out of the whole pure .com thing. Like all the main initial sort of .com startups had failed. We didn't get funding or anything like that. We missed out on that whole wave. A lot of the online advertisers were sort of reining things in a little bit. There was actually a competition as well that started up in the seniors online space in the UK. There were quite a few, and they did have money, unlike these three guys who were just working out their bedrooms. So I was like, well, I'm just going to dip then, because, you know, I know all of this stuff. And that started before internet marketing. That started really with the consultancy, where I was like, I can go and apply all this in the community and grow it very, very slowly, or I can just go to a business and they'll pay me $5,000 this month to teach them what I know, and I'll go do that 5 times, and I've made 25 grand this month.
Right.
So yeah, it just kind of fell by the wayside. Because it needed volume. It was a big project which had a lot of content requirements, a lot of traffic requirements.
Yeah.
And I would have had to staff up. I would have had to go all in and say, it's this or this. And at the time, the choice just to go and teach people and get paid a lot more was just the obvious choice, you know?
Yeah. So I have an announcement to make, everybody. You noticed Tellman glitching a little bit. That was actually the AI version of Tellman. It's pretty incredible technology that we've got now. It seemed real. He was answering questions and asking questions just as if it's pretty incredible, everybody. No, I think he's rebooting his computer based on the fact that I've seen it before where cool. So anyway, let's keep going. So after the success of SEO videos, AdSense videos, I don't want to say what did you do next and what did you do next. Just kind of more of a wide swath of like. So you started doing. You probably did launches regularly, and then eventually, you know, and that all matured quite a bit over the next few years, and then eventually you got kind of tired of it, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of, I know we discussed this last time, you kind of fall in and out of love with it. You kind of go really hard, you get the momentum, you sort of feel motivated, and then for me it's always about the sort of creative spark. And if I run out of things to say or run out of things to teach people, like I just take time out. I don't bother cranking stuff out for the sake of it. Right. You know what I mean? Apart from when I very first started, I'm not really doing it for the money. It can't be for the money because it just doesn't work in my right. experience.
For I've definitely run into people, and it's funny as a businessman. I guess I'm kind of jealous of their ethic, that they're like, I'm just, you know, they're able to do stuff just for the money, and I'm like making money is their passion, and for me it's not. Like, and that's I'm not, I don't think I'm right to be jealous of that per se, but I'm just saying, like, as I'm straddling along, I'm like, oh man, that guy's making $100,000 a month and he seems happy, you know, and I'm, you know, struggling to make 20, you know, struggling is a ridiculous thing to say about that amount of money. But, you know, I just never and I just run into walls with that. Like, I need to do something that fulfills me. And I'm finding that what fulfills me is like actually helping the people. Like, that's really what I got into internet marketing for. And then, you know, you get kind of burnt out. I think, sorry to bring it up, but I think you said you had one. Didn't you have one launch that it didn't do well, or something happened with it, and that kind of blew you out for a little while?
Yeah, so there was a launch, I think it was like 2007 or 8 or something like that. I'd worked like a year and a half on this straight. So it was going to be this massive launch in the style of like Jeff Walker with all these pre-launch videos. And I'd gone around the world literally shooting these videos in Vegas, Paris, Amsterdam.
I remember that. What was it called?
Delta Squadron.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, so it was good. It was a $1 trial, and then it was going to kick in on a rebuild. There was one-click upsells and all this kind of stuff, but technically, it just did not work. Like the whole payment mechanism. So people got access who didn't pay. People who did pay didn't get access. Affiliates got credit who didn't make sales. Affiliates who made sales didn't get credit. It was just a complete rat's nest. So I had to pull the plug. There was no easy fix. Pardon?
What did you run it on?
Somebody's, let's just say I used a third party. I think
Okay,
it's
fair
probably
enough. Fair enough.
the
Very politically
Still
correct.
around.
No, that was
oh
appropriate.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, have we mentioned him on this call already?
maybe we mentioned it on the silent call. No, we didn't.
Yeah, no, okay. And Tellman, that reminded me of one of your kind of like crazy, like, I remember you had like you had a physical product going out, and it went out to everybody with the $1 trial or something.
Oh my God.
Look at that face.
This was okay. This is the truth. So this is the stuff that you got to deal with. Like everybody's like, oh, making money's the best. A lot of the time it is, right? And then there's also pain. And so I remember, so Sean Casey and I launched List Pros together. It was the giant, amazing list building home study program. We did the world's first $1 million teleseminar. In 63 minutes, we made $1 million freaking dollars as part of the launch. It was awesome. And before webinars even existed. And then like 6 months later, we took the whole $2,000 course and we compressed it down onto a DVD. And we sold the entire $2,000 course for $1 trial into the list building club. And we ultimately put 30,000 paid members into the list building club. However, in the process, we were using a custom designed, super fancy, ultra upgraded, completely personalized shopping cart affiliate program. It was amazing. And we had cloned the original product for List Pros over into the $1 product because it was the easiest way to duplicate everything in the sales process and whatever. And it was also hooked up in the back end to deliver our entire box set of List Pros that, which cost like $120 per unit or something
to make, not to buy. It was 2,000 to buy, but 120 to make.
Right.
And you were giving them away for $1.
Yeah. Binders and the CD sets and like the DVD sets and the transcripts and all the stuff. And not to mention a freaking money plant was in the box. And
a money plant?
Yeah, a money plant. And we were sending out money plants to people unannounced. It was great.
Okay.
Well, it was great.
So, and you didn't find out that it was getting sent.
Thousands of these went out and got shipped, and we got the bill after they were shipped out of the warehouse, right? At the $1. So it was $180,000 error.
Wow.
Very expensive.
Wow.
Yep.
And you didn't quit. What happened to you, Cheney?
Sounds like you spent more than 180 grand flying all over the world without doing all those.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the money. It wasn't even the fact that the launch had bombed. It was just the time. It was literally like I just invested like a year of my life, and I am no further forward. And in fact, I'm probably backwards because I've damaged a relationship with every client and every affiliate.
Right.
So it wasn't the financial thing. It was more just, and obviously that made me question the whole thing. Like, is this even worth doing? Is this the best use of my time and everything else?
Yeah.
Which goes back to what you're saying about you've got to have, because money wasn't the thing at that point. Like that wasn't a financial problem. Right. So it was like a credibility or is a value proposition in my own mind. Like, am I not valuable now? Like, is this because of this? I cannot help people. I'm not able to bring value to the marketplace, and it just made me question my whole sense.
You felt like your goodwill had been deteriorated. All the goodwill. Like I feel that way from earlier this year. When my site got hacked, and I mean, some people had like identity theft because of my website, and I don't want to face clients, and but then my daughter's still going to college, so,
imagine being like a movie producer or a movie director and landing a gig where you're getting a chance to like make your lifelong dream film, and you like put everything you've got into it for like 5 years and millions and millions and millions of dollars go into it and then it bombs in the theaters. Like that happens all the time, right? Like people get hit hard. Like, I mean, it's whatever industry you're in, like it doesn't always work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
what did you do? What did you do during that time, and what brought you back?
Yeah, that's
good question. Yeah, sorry.
I basically got into spirituality in that time. I got into Buddhism. I became really good friends with a Buddhist monk who sort of took me under his wing, and it was kind of funny because he would come around to my house and sort of teach me Buddhist principles and meditation and stuff like that. And I was helping him with the temple's website and stuff. It was kind of cool. But no, I really stepped away. I kind of found myself a little bit, got really sort of centered on what I wanted to do and why I was doing it all.
So from butterfly to Buddha, taking under your wing. Yeah,
that's it. The Buddha fly.
Are you Buddhist now?
I'm not Buddhist. I sort of experimented with that kind of rigid thing, but I'm more. I don't have any particular doctrine as such. It's more. I still meditate regularly.
Yeah.
And it certainly put me down a certain path that I wouldn't have got to previously. But
yeah, some points in my life, people have told me that my beliefs sound like I might be Buddhist or like Buddhism, and now look at me, I look like the Buddha himself, right? With the
seems like it's time, Harris. It's time.
So yeah, I've always been. So it's got kind of a bit of rigidity to it, though, eh?
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of got established. You know, I was doing, meditating regularly and using a lot of the principles, but not the whole sort of belief system, if you know what I mean, that goes with Buddhism. It's just looser than that.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I just came back. I can't even remember what I did when I came back. I think I might have tried. I know you mentioned this last time, Tom. I think I kind of re-entered the field, possibly doing personal development. I think.
No, I said that. Yeah, I said. I thought I remembered that you kind of came. I thought you were giving that a stab for a bit, and then during and that makes sense coming from kind of like being on a spiritual journey. You're like, let me apply what I know to personal development, which is also kind of a wonky market, honestly. So that might have been what.
I mean, what I learned. This is probably the biggest thing that I've learned in my whole 25 years or whatever it's been, is what I call chocolate covered broccoli, which you've probably heard me use.
Yeah, from you.
Well, for the longest time I was like, it has to be a choice. Like internet marketing, most of the guys, like what you were saying, Harris, about the guys that'll just do anything to make money, they're giving people what they want. So they're giving people chocolate, right? But chocolate makes you fat, it's full of caffeine, it's full of sugar, makes your teeth fall out.
Right.
But it sells, right? Broccoli is good for you. It's nutrition. And it's got vitamins, and people need it, but they don't want it. And trying to sell either of those things separately is bad news. Like people think, oh, well, no, I'm just going to give people what they need. But if you try to do that, you actually won't help people because they don't buy it. Like people buy big TVs, not insurance. They buy chocolate, not gym memberships on the whole. So I came up with this thing of chocolate covered broccoli, which is not like a bait and switch. It's covered in it, right? So it's how you wrap the thing. You do give them some chocolate, but when they bite into it, it's broccoli and it tastes nice. It gives them what they want, but it also gives them what they need. So I came up with that after that personal development journey. And I was like, I'm selling broccoli here and it's not going to work. I know I've got the best intentions, but if nobody buys it, I'm not actually helping anybody. It's stupid.
So Tellman sells hypnosis. That's kind of got a chocolate covered broccoli kind of vibe to it, because it's like, Tellman, you've said this before, is like people are kind of handing over to the hypnotist like some of their some of this. I mean, we're all do meditation, and we don't all do it. You do meditation, you work on yourself, personal development, whatever. That's that's work. But if you can just go, hey, could you get in there and do that for me? That's chocolate covered broccoli. Now I have a question though. It says. That doesn't sound good. Does chocolate covered broccoli actually taste good?
I've not actually eaten it. I know.
Okay. We're gonna have to do the chocolate covered broccoli challenge, where all three of us.
I feel like maybe not. I don't know. Like, but there's
yeah.
certainly things. There's certainly things that's a great example of. I mean, gummy vitamins.
It's very similar to Dean Jackson. I mean, it's a little different, but it's similar to Dean Jackson's "more cheese, less whiskers" concept, right? It's like, give them what they want, don't scare them off, with the other stuff. Yeah. So it's a very similar idea. But
but I really like it though. It's like deliver the healthy bit, but cover it in something that is tasty.
Maybe cheese covered broccoli.
I would say we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Yeah, cheese covered broccoli. Well, yeah, cheese is good. Cheese is a good example of something kind of bad for you if you have too much of it. Most people don't think of cheese in the same way they do of chocolate, though. But we kind of talked about that a little bit with Johnny when we were like just the right amount of hype, right? When we were talking about like just the right amount of hype. It's the same idea where it's like, you need to get them excited, sell the sizzle, not sell the sizzle, not the steak. This is along those lines, right? It's talking about, smell this. It smells great. This is incredible. And then here's, don't worry, there's also steak. And a lot of people just sell the sizzle.
Right.
And or they just sell the chocolate.
Chocolate
is such a good example for our industry though, because like it's not good for you,
Well, here's the thing that's kind of cool is, Michael, I really liked how you said, how you got started with your senior community, and you got that, and you just like through grit, determination, working on it, trying new things, seeing what was out there, whatever, you got it up to 20 grand a month. And so you actually had something that you personally knew you had done that worked, that you were now sharing with other people. So you had that internal confidence because you had a skill or skills, abilities, experience, wisdom, knowledge. Like, it was zero bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where so many people get lost from the very beginning when they enter BizOp or when they enter internet marketing or whatever, where they're trying to make money online, is they quite literally have no value to give because they don't have any experience, or if they do, they haven't figured that out yet, right? And so when you do have that confidence that you're bringing something to the table that genuinely can help people as step one, it makes all the difference in the world in terms of whether or not your business has a chance of even making it, I think.
It does if you go straight to the creator, like the product creator. I think, there's a very natural sort of progression, which I've learned in hindsight, which is, you become an affiliate first. And to become an affiliate, you don't need to be good. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to make money to do that. All you're doing is, as an affiliate, is selling the click. You're not selling yourself. You're not selling the product. Right. You're selling the click. Like, all the proof and the credibility comes from the vendor. People get this wrong and they're like, oh my God, yeah, but I've not made any money. How am I going to sell this? I'm like, I'm selling it. You don't sell it. I'm the vendor. I sell it.
Get them to me. Right. Give them to me, baby.
You just say, this is a cool thing. I bought it. I'm using it. Or I think this is a cool. You don't have to prove anything as an affiliate. Right. Now, if you do that often enough and you do get better at doing that, you offer bonuses, you build a list, you offer freebies, lead magnets, you grow your list, and you start making commissions, then you've entered the realm of creators. So now you actually have proof to be able to say, okay, maybe I can teach a little bit on affiliate marketing. And that's how you get a foot in the door. But you're dead right, Tellman, that's the mistake people make, is they try to go to phase 2 instantly, 2 days after finding out what internet marketing is, and they go on Facebook and say, right, so I've got this coaching thing, it's like 10K a month, and I'm like, you don't know shit yet. You've got to put in the hard miles, right, to actually get some.
And they're not even that hard of miles. They're not even necessarily that hard of miles. Like, you make me think, like, Tellman and I, our history is pretty much exactly what you said. We started as affiliate marketers. We didn't, and we both kind of found our way to this, virtual summit concept. It wasn't called that. They were teleseminars. We interviewed people like you on teleseminars and then sold your stuff as an affiliate before we ever tried to have our own product. But I always tell people,
hold on. That's not true of me. I tried several times to sell my own product, and for
your own info product, your own internet info product. Did you?
Yeah, I created a bunch of different products. I created Think Like Sean Casey, Think Like Joe Vitale.
Well, you had some success with the nitro marketing mindset, but you were the hypnotist in that.
That was theirs. That the nitro marketing mindset, I happen to have it on my desk, was their product. I got paid royalties. Joe Lavery wrote the sales letter. Brian Terry did the graphics. And like I was a content creator, but I did not have my own product at that point.
Yeah.
I knew it was possible, but I didn't have a list.
Right.
I didn't have a product, and I couldn't, and I even created the 5 keys to permanent fat loss with Kyle Battis, who I went to high school with, that became a personal trainer. And there was 2 CDs. One was a hypnosis CD, and one was a nutrition and fitness education CD, and to lose weight. And I tried writing a sales letter for it off the cuff, and I couldn't write long copy to save my life. I had no idea how to do it, and so I had to go to affiliate stuff because.
So, Michael, I was going to ask you before we move on. By the way, Tellman and Michael, we only have 10, 15 minutes left, so I want to bring it to its the next chapter of this. But right. I did have a question. Do you still? So from beginning to end, so from your first success, big success, it was affiliates. Product launch was affiliates. I know you do. Like when I think of Michael Cheney 2024, I think of all the stuff that you're releasing successfully on Warrior Plus, which is all affiliates. Have you pretty much stayed in that lane for all of this time, with just all of your traffic comes from affiliates, or have you tried Facebook ads and YouTube ads or anything like that? I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably spent around $300,000, I would say, in my career on paid ads. Anything from, well, actually, no, it's probably more than that. So I just remembered I probably spent about 200K on LinkedIn. But yeah, no, I've done LinkedIn ads, YouTube ads, Facebook ads. I went really big on organic marketing, growing a YouTube channel and stuff like that.
Okay.
Even TikTok, I went from 0 to 35,000 people in like a couple of months. So I know the content stuff, but the reason I come back to the JV stuff is it's just what I'm best at. Like, speaking to Marlon the other day, and he's like, "Wait, launching, you've just got it down. Like, you know what you're doing. You know how to incentivize people, and I can just do it in my sleep because I've done it so many times. The reason I'd walked away from it, twofold. One, you just get bored, and sometimes you just want something new, which as an entrepreneur is not really a good thing to do, but sometimes you go do it anyway. And the other was I didn't adapt when the market changed. So I basically spat the dummy out and thought, oh no, launching's not for me anymore. When really what I should have done is make launching work when there was a slight change in the market, when there was not quite as much demand, the type of products was changing. Rather than adapt to that, I just thought, well, forget it then, we'll go do YouTube. So we've taken several years out over the period, going off and trying all these different things.
Yeah.
But we've always kind of come back to launching just because it's easy for me to do. I mean, if you talk to any of these agencies and they're like, and you explain how launching works, that you can basically get 1,000 to 2,000 buyer leads for free in the course of a week. And they're like, say what now? Like, right. It's like they can't believe it. Like, because they're living in that realm where you've got to pay $50, to get somebody to opt into a mailing list,
Yeah. Well, this is a bit tricky, just to get maybe a little in the weeds on it. Like when we do a launch, we risk blowing out a PayPal account. We risk blowing out a Stripe account. Right. if you do $100,000 in a week, so like, I guess, what advice do you have for people that are kind of doing launches, especially on Warrior Plus, because this is an issue, right? If you're going to do a big launch on Warrior Plus and you've got a PayPal account, you're scared, you're risking it. Do you do anything to protect from that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got like a proper business. So when I came back the last time after like 2020, I took time out, I was sick and all this kind of stuff, but I came back and I built a proper business. So I've got I think it's like 7 or 8 full-time people now. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 of those full-time support, pretty much 7 days a week. We've got a whole, chargeback process. We fight disputes. We've got, our customer service is just like second to none. Do you know what I mean? So,
But you
our
give
products are really good.
you give refunds, right? You're not like one of these people that's like, oh, I'm not refunding you because you opened the box and there's no box, or where's your refund policy? And because that's a great way to keep chargebacks away, and it's also a great way to fight chargebacks. Is like, hey, here's our refund policy, and you know,
Yeah, no, I've gone different routes in the past. I used to be pretty hard line, and like if people were, I mean, I would always refund, but if they would, I would blacklist people because I was just like, oh,
Right.
what I mean? I know what's gone into the product. I know that it works.
yeah,
I've got an entire army of people ready to support you, will help you around the clock, jump on Zoom calls with you and help you with the product if you want. So if you refund it and say it's crap, you're basically lying.
right,
So I would still refund them. I'd never refuse a refund. But I would add them to like a blacklist and like, well, you're not buying from me again because for some reason you're just not getting it. When I'm talking about fighting disputes, that's when people say, oh, I don't know, like I don't know anything about, like my cat bought this or something. And
right.
we're like, well, actually, no, because we have your IP address.
Right.
We've seen that you've logged in here. And that's the time. That's why I'm saying when we fight disputes and chargeback,
Yeah.
it won't get to dispute and chargeback if somebody wants a refund because we refund people.
Right. Right. Exactly. It's so frustrating. I still see people that like, if someone refunds a digital product, you're hurt. You're so, or if someone refuses to refund a digital product, you're actually really hurting yourself as a businessman nowadays, because that person's likely to complain, and they might dispute, and a dispute is like 100 refunds as far as like Visa, MasterCard, PayPal are concerned. Like,
well, not to mention people like, when they get cranky going off on social media or whatever, which can happen anyway, even if you treat all of this well. Like, like if people get a hair across their ass and they just decide to freak out, like, it's a nightmare. So it's
well, you have a really great, you've established a really great affiliate army. I think people that are going to promote for you because they know that you've got good quality products. They know that your stuff converts. You give them a very high percentage, and you make a funnel that's going to make them money. So why wouldn't they continue promoting for you? And you probably, I think if I remember correctly, like the top 10 people, you might, market something back to them. You might have a list, I don't know, something like that, which the whole reciprocal thing is gotten a little bit out of hand, where people just, well, I'll promote anything if you promote for me. And it's, but you don't really quite do that, which is, I like, you're very disciplined. I've noticed in your approach as well. And I think you're protective of your time. You're like, okay, I'm going to do a launch. Boom. I'm also done in 10 minutes, guys, because my kids are coming home, so it's good.
Cool. So speaking of which, like we've been talking about joint ventures, and I know you have some cool stuff coming up. You want to talk about AI franchise a little bit and who you're looking for?
Yeah. So we've got a launch coming up 3rd of February. 2025 is called AI Franchise, and we give people a ready-made business that has already done $250,000, so they get all of the money off of that funnel. And then I've built an AI that helps them market that business. So it creates lead magnets for them, it creates social media posts, and they can use that AI to promote that ready-made business. And that's the link there if anybody wants to promote that. It's 100% commissions on the front and the bump, 75% on the rest, and then typically we kind of roll that out across the entire funnel as the launch goes on. I've also included as well in that product the world's best AI image creator using the Flux model, which normally you'd have to pay for. It's in there for the one-time fee of, you get all of that for like $10 one time. Nice. And you can use that in like as many times as you want forever. So it's kind of a no-brainer off. This is what I say. If people refund, I'm just, obviously we always give it, but it's just a bit of a head scratcher.
What's the mentality behind like giving? So you basically just said there's a pretty high quality tool that gets given to them. You're giving them a kind of a done for you, ready to go funnel that they can promote. and I'm guessing you teach them how to do stuff,
Yep.
right? Like
Yep.
how to get the traffic, how to use AI to enhance this and that. So like even that alone is worth way more than 10. What's the kind of mentality behind like pricing it so low? You could have made it probably pretty easily. This could be a $49 product rather than a 7 or a 9, whatever your price point is.
Yeah, I mean, we've just always gone low ticket front end just because we know what works for our launches. We've tried high, we've tried 20. I don't know if we've tried, well, we've run products at 47 before. But obviously from our side of things, the launch is, we don't make anything off of the launch. Like we lose money, if anything, because obviously we pay 100% commissions, we pay prizes.
What do you pay 100% on? The everything,
Yes,
the upsells and everything.
yes.
So you're basically, I mean, instead of paying Facebook to hopefully break even, you basically are like, I'm definitely going to break even on the front end. And then I think you mentioned last time that the way you lose money is you give away some money to the top promoters in a launch contest.
Yeah, so what we do is we start with 100% on the front end and the bump, 75% on all the upgrades. And then once we've hit the prize amount, like once our business has made the amount of the money that we give away in prizes for the leaderboard, we then open up 100% on everything else.
Oh, cool. That makes sense. That's nice.
Smart.
So we break even. And then obviously we make them offers, the buyers that come in, we make them further offers, we nurture them, we build a community around them. We basically work our asses off. Like, we're not, it's kind of like lead gen for us, and everybody wins because obviously the customers get a great product for like $10. The affiliates make a ton of money. I mean, last time we paid out, I think $65,000 in commissions in the last launch. They're happy because they're making a good bunch of money. And then finally, once the customers have got what they want, and once the JVs have got what they want, and once the network has got what they want, then in the weeks after, we hope that we get what we want and what we need in our business, which is sales of other products that are just internal to actually make money out of the whole operation.
So you just over deliver, so that not just so that, but basically, so you break even, over deliver, and then people dive in, and some percentage of those people are going to be interested in the thing.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is you've got to put yourself last, right?
Right.
So
right.
if you keep affiliates super happy, they will promote. If you keep customers super happy, they will stick and they won't refund. And then you've got to do that times 1,000 to actually make money after that by creating something just mind blowing,
Right.
And it needs to be done on an ongoing basis. This is why I've got like 7 or 8 people full time now. Is we have people in there doing coaching with people every single week. I'm in helping these guys. When we're not launching, we're not just launching and making the money and going to the desert island in between launches. Like we're as busy throughout the whole year. We just happen to get even busier during launch periods because obviously we still have our high ticket clients to look after.
But Michael, reality check. Like, how many hours a week do you usually log working?
I mean, during a launch, it will probably be like 12-hour days.
Yeah.
12-hour days probably during a launch. In a typical week, I mean, it's kind of like 9 to 5, really, Monday through Friday. I might check in a little bit, but I can step away. Like I think I mentioned this last time. It's a little bit like a flywheel. I can take a few weeks out and do absolutely nothing because of the team that I've got. For example, this launch in February is now ready. The sales letters are done. All the upgrades are done. The VSL's done. The JV page is ready. The members area is ready. Everything's ready. We've got 2 months to go. So my requirement on the business at the moment is almost nil, right? But I choose to go in and help these high ticket clients in our community and engage with them. It's not part of the deliverable that they get that I go coach them or anything like that. But that's what I do.
You have somebody that coaches them.
Well, it's me and other members of the team. We've got 2 or 3 other people that do weekly coaching in addition to me. So it's all handled, but I you know, I want to keep delivering. You know, I want to look after these guys.
Are you your own project manager, or do you have a separate project manager that organizes and makes sure that everything gets done for these launches?
Yeah, no, I have an operations manager, Paul Marie Roberts. She's amazing. I brought her in as a JV manager, and she's gradually sort of worked her way up, and she does all the one-to-ones with the individuals in the company, the team huddles. She's very detail orientated. I'm higher level, you know, I'm not.
Last time we talked about, though, how do you get through your task list?
Whiteboard.
Yeah, so for me, I've just got whiteboard. I've got simple to-do list on a little book in front of me, or I have a whiteboard if it's a longer term project, something that's further out than, you know, a few days. And I just scratch it off when it's done. But it gets kind of fed to me. Most of it's fed by what we've done in launches over many years. So I have just a master list, and every time we start a new launch, I just wipe out the ticks that I've done. Start over. If it's stuff outside of that, then it gets fed to me by Paul and me. She's like, "Oh, we need this. We need a video for this promo," and it just gets added on.
Well, you inspired me to grab one of my whiteboards that I use for my magic. It's an extra, though. That's me. That's supposed to be me. It's a fat version of me. Look at that. See, hey. Anyway, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the upcoming weeks. So
I wasn't sure if that's not used yet, or if you just got everything done.
Yeah, I got everything done. It's done. I'm
well done. Nice.
It's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. Nice, dude. Michael, I honestly, like, you're a very inspiring entrepreneur for me. Like, you're smart, you're driven, it seems like you're a good dad, you know, and like you're running a business with a good team that seems to be growing, and you're constantly putting out great stuff. Like, I really like what you're doing. I mean, thank you for taking the time to do the interview, and thank you for coming back a second time, since the first time was all muted out. This has been great.
And by the way, this link here, that's good, right? People can go sign up right now if they want to promote it, and there's a list there they can sign up for, and they can sign up for a Warrior if they're not on it already.
There's a video on that page of me as the Godfather as well, and that's the theme that we're going with, is a mafia theme.
Oh,
just
nice.
in your honor, Harris. From
right. Great. I want to see it. So it's not AI syndicate or something. It's AI franchise. All right. AI Mafia. Ooh. It's got. You can't have Mafia without A and I. I'm registering it.
Yeah. Let's all rush to GoDaddy. See who gets that first.
Rush. No, I don't do that anymore. I don't rush to GoDaddy anymore.
Yes.
And I remember there was a time when I realized that I was spending $40,000 a year on domain renewals that I wasn't doing anything with 95% of the domains, because they were just ideas that I had that were unfulfilled. Got rid of them all. Have like 100 domains now. That's all I need.
Same.
So guys, we got to let Michael go. His kids are going to be screaming at him in 10, 15 minutes. Do we have any final? We got to ask the final questions now.
Yeah, we got 2 questions for you, dude. Number 1 is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did you enjoy your experience today on the Tellman and Fellman show?
I would say it was a 10, definitely. Now we've got audio, maybe in the 10.5.
That's right.
9.5. 9.5. Okay.
All right. 9.5 it is. Well, let's see if we can make it a 10. If you could only nominate one individual, one human being, to be the next special guest on the Tellman and Fellman show, who would it be?
I said 10.5, by the way, not 9.
Oh, 10.5. Oh, great.
That's way better. 10.5.
In case you thought, Jesus, this guy's been super harsh. I nominate for the Tellman Fellman Ice Bucket Chocolate Broccoli Challenge.
Chocolate Broccoli Challenge.
Dean Holland.
Dean Holland.
We haven't had Dean yet, and I haven't connected with him in years, so that sounds great.
Yeah, what you may not know, obviously he's got his internet business, but he's also got one finger in a cosmetics business as well offline, which is very, very interesting. It's growing really, really quickly. So
cool.
That'd be cool. I'd want to watch that one myself.
Great.
All right, I'll shoot him a message today. That's awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching episode 80 of the Tellman and Fellman show. Oh, gosh, people might be thinking, how do I see some of these other episodes? I don't know how they could possibly see some of these other
I know. You guys can go to www.tellman tellmanandfellman.com.
There you go. And we will send you all of the episodes with other great internet marketers of the OG status. That's I don't know what OG stands for. I'm too old to know what that stands for. But original guru.
Organic garlic.
Organic garlic covered broccoli. Okay. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us on the Tellman and Fellman show. We hope to see you again. Thanks again, Michael. We really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks,
All
everybody.
right, have a good one, guys.
See y'all tomorrow.
Bye.
And he's gone. I got to pee, but do you want to say anything?